So you're new to Needlepoint and you still have questions? Well, you have come to the right spot. Hi, my name is Kelsey and I own a Needlepoint store in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today, we're gonna be talking about dye lots within thread lines. On almost every single piece of thread, there's going to be a tag somewhere on it, whether it's a tag hanging from a skein or a sticker on a card, but it's going to have the name of the thread as well as the dye lot. You can see here, this is the color Nectarine in Vineyard Silk, and the dye lot is 478. What is dye lot, you may ask? Dye lot just refers to the batch in which the thread was dyed. So everything in lot 478 will be the exact same color as this. Here's where it gets a little funky and a lot of stitchers find themselves in a pickle. Look at these two threads side by side. This one is a lot darker than this one. The lighting is not doing it justice, but you can still tell even on this video that this color is darker than this one. Now, both of these colors have Nectarine as their color, but you'll see one is lot 478 and one is lot 490. Even though these threads are from the same thread line, Vineyard Silk, they are the same color, they were dyed at different times, which means there's a little bit of discontinuity within the color. That's why this one turned out a little bit darker than this one. Same thing here. This is the color Heron from Vineyard Silk. One is lot number 476 and one is lot number 486. You can see that there. And just in looking here, they are two totally different shades. Same exact color, okay? Same exact color. They would be on the same peg on a shelf in a store, but this one is significantly darker than this. I really wish the camera would do justice to just how different these are. Can y'all see that? You may be thinking to yourself, like, wait, why does dye lot matter then? Well, there's a little thing called thread chicken. Let's pretend like you were stitching this canvas and you were gonna do your entire background in orange. Obviously, orange would not match this canvas, but just stay with me here, okay? You start stitching your whole background in this color orange, which is Nectarine, and you get to about right here and you run out of thread. Oh no, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go back to the store and buy another skein of the same color, right? Well, if you were to do that and the dye lot was different, you would be going and getting, even though it's the same color by name, a completely different color as far as what it looks like. And then on your canvas, you're gonna see a very clear line of where one thread started and one thread ended. That's gonna look funky. I see it all the time on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, of people saying, who has this color in this dye lot? I ran out, I need more. And it's like this mad dash to find who has the same dye lot number so they can continue their canvas and there not be the very clear line of demarcation. Now it gets a little bit tricky as a needlepoint store owner and as someone that works in the store every day, because when people say like, how much thread do I need for this? We typically use kind of a general rule of thumb is that a skein is the same size as your fist. That sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. Like this is an entire skein of Milan thread. I put my fist here. As you can tell, it covers a little bit more than my fist, and I used basket weave on this, but it covers a little bit more. Every stitcher is different. People use different tension, people use different stitches, people use different styles, and so sometimes, you know, one skein is enough, sometimes it's not. It really depends on the stitcher, but here is where it just like about makes me sick to my stomach sometimes trying to guide people. I, as a shop owner, never want to give someone something that they don't need. If I know that you only need one skein of orange, then I'm gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna try to upsell you and say, actually you need two, because then you're gonna be left with thread that you end up not needing. However, if it's like a really close call and we're like, like, you could probably get away with one, but maybe you need two, I'm always going to suggest that you go ahead and buy the second skein or the third skein or whatever, that you go ahead and buy maybe a little bit more than you think you need, because if it's gonna be close and you end up like playing thread chicken and running out and needing another dye lot and you can't find it, then you're gonna find yourself in a really big pickle and you're gonna be desperate. But I err on the side of caution and I suggest that people buy like a little bit more than they need. But again, it's like this fine line of like, I don't wanna oversell people, but at the same time, like if I undersell them, then they're panicking and gonna have a bad experience. So when you are shopping for thread, pay attention to the dye lot, make sure that you are buying the same dye lot, because sometimes on the peg, like these might be on the same peg, but there's no like marker in between. The Canvas Queen, we have these like dye lot change little tabs in between the dye lot changes so you can be able to tell, but always just double check, make sure you're buying the right dye lot, the same dye lot, because if not and you run out, it could be catastrophic to how your canvas looks. Next time you're at the Needlepoint store, again, make sure you check your dye lots, make sure if you're buying more than one skein of thread that you're buying the correct same dye lot as each other, and make sure that if you are kitting a canvas that you buy enough thread so that if you ended up needing to buy more later and couldn't find that dye lot, you would not be in a major bind. So that's dye lots. Thank you for coming to my Needlepoint TED Talk.